Today's podcast is brought to you by Anchor. And if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, let me tell you, it is the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. I can't wait to hear what you create. Hello, my friends. You are listening to episode 28 of the Welcome to Your Life, Midlife Made Easier podcast. Welcome to Your Life is a lifestyle podcast for women juggling midlife, self-care, and work-life balance. If this is our first time meeting, my name is Renee Reed. As a certified health and lifestyle coach, I help midlife women lose weight without dieting. Instead, we focus on healing mindsets, boosting self-confidence, and refocusing wellness goals. If you are a little bit intrigued, keep on listening. Today on the podcast, we are exploring what is prediabetes and how can you delay or prevent a type 2 diabetes diagnosis. Let's get started. Hey guys, we are back. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday season, that you got to spend lots of time with family and friends. I had a really great Christmas and New Year's. And so now we're back with episode 28 of the podcast. Once again, I thank you guys for listening. You make my day. So today we are talking about prediabetes and how you can protect yourself from the onset of a type 2 diabetes diagnosis. So the one thing that I want you to understand is that having a prediabetes diagnosis does not mean that you will automatically get type 2 diabetes. And I have to admit that I had no idea that there was such a thing as prediabetes. It's also called borderline diabetes, until that fateful day in my doctor's office when she informed me that I was pre-diabetic. I mean, I thought that I was going in for my routine checkup and blood draw, but it proved to be otherwise, and I was devastated. First, because I had always thought of myself as a healthy person, and I took pride in the way I treated my body. And secondly, because I saw the devastating effects of the disease firsthand with my mom, who, battled each day with the disease. Watching her give herself her insulin shots was not a pretty sight for me, and definitely not for her. And then just last year, losing this beautiful neighbor that we had to the disease, complications of the disease. And so I know firsthand, what this disease can do, not only to the person who is suffering from it, but also to the families who are left behind. And I knew what laid ahead in my future if I did not get my pre-diabetes under control. one of which could mean daily insulin injections. And I just did not want to go through that. So I know I don't have to say this, but let me just remind you guys that today's episode is for informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for you seeing a medical professional and getting a complete checkup. So this is the new year. If you haven't scheduled your checkup for the new year, then do so right after you listen to the episode. But I want to break down for you guys exactly what is prediabetes and to provide you with three pretty easy lifestyle changes that you can make to protect yourself from a type 2 diabetes diagnosis. So these are the same lifestyle changes that I had to make to get healthier, and I still practice all three of them today. As a matter of fact, when I don't do them, I can see a real change, not only in how I feel, but also how my clothes fit. So I try to be very mindful about how I treat my body, especially now. You know, we are in midlife. So as my husband reminded me, I am not a spring chicken anymore. And so we have to be very mindful now of how we treat ourselves physically and emotionally. And it can be done. It can be done, I promise you. So let's throw in some statistics. According to the CDC, 100 million people in the U.S. are pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic. And researchers are predicting that diabetes will become the new epidemic of the 21st century. Now, the sad thing is that this disease can be prevented or controlled by making simple lifestyle changes. So to give you a complete picture of the disease, let's break down the different types of diabetes. So there's pre-diabetes. That's when your blood glucose levels are higher than what is considered normal, but not high enough to be diagnosed as a diabetic. Now, type 1 diabetes is also known as juvenile diabetes. In this case, the pancreas produces no insulin. Type 2 diabetes, or in type 2 diabetes, the pancreas either is not producing enough insulin or your body is unable to use it effectively, which causes a rise in your blood sugar. And there's gestational diabetes, and this is experienced by more than 200,000 expectant mothers each year. This occurs when expectant mothers are unable to produce and use all of the insulin they need during pregnancy. But today, we are going to focus on pre-diabetes. If you are pre-diabetic, that means that your blood sugar or glucose level is higher than normal, but not high enough to be considered diabetic. I want you to understand that. So a person who is pre-diabetic has trouble processing enough insulin to control their blood sugar after eating. Now, to diagnose you with pre-diabetes, your doctor will perform one of three blood tests. There's the fasting plasma glucose test. And if your doctor selects this test, he or she will ask you not to eat or drink anything for 8 hours before taking the test. If your results are normal, then your blood sugar will register less than 100. If you are pre-diabetic, your blood sugar will register between 100 and 125. And if you are diabetic, your blood sugar will register at 126 or higher. The second test is called a hemoglobin A1C, or average blood sugar test. And this test will provide your doctor with a history of your blood sugar levels over the past 3 months. So your doctor can use this test to determine if you are pre-diabetic, or if you do have diabetes, if your diabetes is under control. So with this test, if your test results show a blood sugar level of 5.6% or less, you are in normal range. If you're pre-diabetic, your blood sugar will be 5.7 to 6.4%. And if you have diabetes, your blood sugar will measure 6.5% and above. Now, this test may be repeated if you have another condition such as anemia or liver disease. And then the third test is called the oral glucose test. This test has 2 parts. First, you will take the fasting glucose test, and then you will be given a sugary solution. After a 2-hour waiting period, your blood will be drawn. So, if your results are normal, your blood sugar level will be less than 140 after the second test. If you are pre-diabetic, your blood sugar level will range between 140 and 199. And if you are diabetic, your blood sugar will be 200 or higher after the second test. Now, I know that I am throwing a lot of information at you, and that is why you need to see your primary care or family doctor, because they can break down to you exactly what's going on in your body and further explain to you exactly what blood tests they're going to be using. But I want you to go into the office prepared to ask questions so that you can be proactive about your health. Now, I know that getting a pre-diabetic diagnosis can be scary, but research has shown that by implementing these 3 lifestyle changes, controlling your weight, exercising regularly, and improving your nutrition, you could delay or prevent the onset of type 2 diabetes. So let's take a look at each one of these tools. Controlling your weight. The CDC did a research study, and their results were astounding. They found that when pre-diabetics reduced their weight by as little as 5 to 7%, they were able to delay or prevent the onset of type 2 diabetes. So don't try something drastic like going on a liquid diet or telling yourself you'll never eat a cupcake again, because those tactics just don't work. And what happens is you lose the weight and then you end up gaining it back, and sometimes more than you lost in the first place. So what I want you to do is to start by keeping a food journal and just making one small change a week. For instance, if you have a large Coke or coffee in the morning, Start with 16 ounces of lemon water, and then have a medium coffee or a Coke. Now, I have to tell you that coffee in the morning was the one thing I looked forward to more than anything else in the world. And the Lord helped the barista who got my coffee order wrong, because they were going to hear about it. But I have now gotten to the point where I can drink a small coffee. So I didn't get rid of coffee, but now I just drink a small coffee. And then when you're ready, you can increase your lemon water to 24 ounces, which is what I drink every morning. And like I said, a small coffee. So the lemon water will help promote hydration. It's a good source of vitamin C, and it also supports your weight loss and improves your skin. Reducing your Coke or coffee size will help you to cut calories without that feeling that you are missing something in your day. So you want to make gradual changes in the way you eat. Your eating plan should fit the way you live. So one of the reasons, and I'm going off on a tangent here, so excuse me, but one of the reasons that diets don't work is because they do not fit the way we live. Anyone can restrict calories or eat special food for a certain amount of time, and then, what do you do when that's over? I mean, I tried the prepackaged foods. I tried, eating at certain times during the day. I tried not eating. I tried the liquid diets. I tried, drinking the shake, 2 shakes and 1 meal. I mean, none of that worked for me. The only thing that has worked for me consistently is being able to eat 3 meals a day and plan my snacks. And so I want you to really start to think about, before you start any new plan or any new, eating plan, just think about how you eat and what you eat and how you live. Keep a journal for a week. When I kept my journal for a week and just wrote down what I ate, whatever it was, Snickers or Reese cup, a large fry, a Diet Coke, whatever it was, I wrote it down. And then I began to see exactly not only what I was putting into my body, but also ways that I could cut some things out, make some things smaller. But anyway, the bottom line is, don't make drastic changes in the way you eat. I know that getting any type of diagnosis can be scary, but remain calm and work out a plan that will work for you. So, the second tool is to incorporate exercise into your daily life. I'm going to take a sip of tea right now, so 1 second. So your exercise plan does not have to be daunting. Take it from someone who overdid it and ended up sore and disillusioned. You can start with just 30 minutes of heart pumping activity. And that 30 minutes can include cycling, swimming, running. A brisk walk after dinner will do you good. And if you're currently sedentary, so if you are not working out at all, please see a doctor before you start a new program. That's not just something that they say at the beginning of those exercise tapes, but you really should see your physician before you start to work out so that they can give you the okay. And then the third thing is to get your nutrition in check. So, as I said before, keeping that food journal for a week will really let you start to see, when you're eating, what you're eating, and how you feel when you eat. And then you can begin to plan your meals. So when you're planning your meals, you want to include lean protein, non-starchy vegetables like asparagus, broccoli, steamed cabbage, and carrots. And consider cooking more at home and taking your leftovers for lunch. If you cook at home, you will know exactly how the meal was prepared and all the ingredients that went into it. One of the things that, and this is one of the things that really helped me because I was eating out a lot. My job was in social services. So for any of my social service sisters out there, you know that we spend 90% of our time in our car. And it's really easy to run through a drive-through in between home visits. And that wasn't good for me. So I started to pack my cooler, and let me know if you guys would like to see how I pack my cooler, because it's really neat. I have a cooler, I keep it in my car, and so now I can just munch on my food that I bring with me, and that has really helped me to lose weight. You can control your prediabetes by making these simple lifestyle changes: controlling your weight, exercising, and eating more nutritious foods. Now, if you have someone who is pre-diabetic or diabetic, and if you are pre-diabetic and you want to get more information, shoot me an email at info@reneereed.net. I have a brand new program that will be starting in February, and I would love to share it with you. This is important, and I know that there are so many things going on in our lives, and we always think that we can put this decision off until Monday, but we can't. I saw my neighbor's daughters just a couple of months ago. They were finally, just at the point where they could go through the house and clean some things out, and it was just sad. I mean, she was only 61 or 62 years old. So this is not something that you can put off. This is something that you need to, be proactive about. Your health is always something that you want to be proactive about. And so I will stop lecturing. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. And remember, if you have a family member or a friend who could use this information, please share it with them, because there is nothing more powerful than women helping women. I'll talk to you soon. Hey guys, I hope this episode was helpful. If you or someone you know could use this information, please share it with them. It's so important that we get the word out. Prediabetes can lead to type 2 diabetes if we do not keep it in check. So let's get the word out. Let's start being proactive about our health. And hopefully you will take 1, 2, or all 3 of the lifestyle changes that I shared with you today and incorporate them into your life. But if you can only do one, then start with one. Choose one and start with that one. And then next month you can add another one. Don't overwhelm yourself. And if you are looking for a group of women who understand what it's like to struggle through hot flashes, self-doubt, hormonal surges, and hard to lose belly fat, and prediabetes, then you need to join the Courageous Women's Network. This is our free Facebook group, and in this group, you will receive the love, support, and a little kick in the pants when you need it. Plus, you'll get outstanding training from me that will help you to cut out the guesswork and get to your wellness goals. So, click the link in the show notes to request to join, and I hope to see you in the group. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.